Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on July 30th, 2021 at approximately 12:43 p.m. PST. You'll have to forgive the noise outdoors, out the window right now. It is, to say the least, a little hot to work with, so we've got to keep the door open and somebody's moving in. But it's one of the hazards of doing live recordings, meaning I don't go back and edit anything. I simply, at the end of the recording, I simply double check, make sure I got the date right, and then post it as is with all the quirks, all the hiccups, all the background noises, the whole 9 yards. And thus far, you are right. I have not replaced my coffee urn yet. However, the projects that I had listed for yesterday, getting the proofing done on that one chapter, getting the writing done on the other one, I did get done. The table did not get finished, but then I had another sidetrack that happened, so away we go. At this point, I am simply getting things in order now. I reset things as I mentioned. Okay, and like I said, well, we'll try one thought at a time. What do you think? How about if we start at the first part of that and go, hopefully you like the video enough to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel to get the rest of the and get access to the rest of the videos. And absolutely remember to hit the alert button to let you know when the next one comes out, because I try and get at least one of these out a day. Being a spiritual guide, I'm a firm believer that if I'm going to offer tools to you, if they apply to my life, I will be using them. Okay. Now, I've been talking about the steps I've been going through to get some of the goals out of the way. The biggest one is the Yldrbacian Chronicles that I'm writing. Okay, so what I did, because of the fact that I've got an added book that, well, it's not an added book. The series is 12 novels long, but I am putting a compendium together that will cover all 12 books. So I reset the whole thing so I can actually start adding to it properly and get it caught up to date. I'll be dealing with that one, and the other book that will also be built at the same time is Jeremiah's Journal. So as I'm going through the books and putting the compendium information together, I can take the entries from the journal and add them. That way it can all get brought together. Now, understandably, at least I think it's understandable, with the Chronicles, the compendium, because it includes all 12 books, is going to be a few years down the road, because I got to get the books written to get the compendium written. Same applies in Jeremiah's Journal. Okay, so these are just long-term projects. Today, and I've got the list right here beside me, today I've got to get my filing cabinet sorted out properly to start handling the books properly and getting them to run out in the right order. Plus, of course, learning that really difficult thing for me. Difficult because of the fact that I haven't been very successful at it, and I'm really trying to train myself with the guidance of Author House to really get the word out and get the books moving. Okay, but like I've told you, when you've got a goal in mind, talk to somebody that's done it successfully. Okay, if you desire to be a millionaire, talk to a millionaire. There's lots of people that'll tell you how to be millionaires. Problem is, most of them are not millionaires. And much as I'm a firm believer in talking to your parents, if your parents are not actually actively and currently millionaires, they may not have the best ideas as to how to get there. So find the people that have that knowledge, and you talk to somebody that has successfully attained that goal. Now, where it comes to writing, I've successfully taken it from a thought process all the way to international publication. International because I have sold my books in England, in the United States, and Canada. Where else? I don't know. That's one of the things I got to talk to Author House about to see how far it's gone, because it's available on Amazon. But these are all little parts of the same project. Now, the other major project I've got is this issue of the videos themselves. Okay, now I return to pass on a very simple message, that working together, we can make this a better world for everybody. But it's going to take everybody's participation. And the reason for that is because the only person in existence that can make your life better, that can actually make you successful, is you. Now, you can get all the encouragement you'd like out of anybody you'd like. Okay, and I do encourage you to find a spiritual group that will help you. Whether that means going to a church, going to a temple, going to a coven, going to a support group like the people that deal with PTSD, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. These are all people that have like similar ideas that may help you in getting your feet on the ground. Now, much as I don't necessarily, agree with everything they're doing, I will tell you this, that the reality of it is a support group that you can relate to is what will help you the best. This is not always bloodline. Now, where it comes to the different spiritual practices, whether we are talking mainstream religion, or we're talking some of what they call New Age, which, by the way, is a whole lot older than mainstream. Okay, doesn't matter. Ultimately, they all follow the same thing. They all fall into the idea of following the 3 karmic laws. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. And energy out, energy in. Now, with that in mind, okay, the nice part about the whole thing, with that in mind, is that you've got this neat little situation where if you follow those laws and keep 2 other things in line, these are tools that I personally use and I keep really handy. You can see over where I'm pointing, there's a sign there. Now that sign actually has 4 words on it. I am worth it. Bar none that I've discovered, those 4 words combined are the strongest, most effective combination for helping anybody with self-esteem issues or self-confidence issues. Apparently not speech issues, but I have a tendency of tripping over my own tongue in case you hadn't noticed. Okay, that's one of the tools, and I do strongly encourage you to take those 4 words, write them down, and put them on your fridge. Now, if it's your fridge specifically, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, okay, take a felt marker and write it across the freezer door. Okay, if the fridge belongs to you. If you're renting, take a sheet of paper and write it and put it on the fridge. The reason being that in the fridge is the one place in the house that pretty much everybody looks at and reads. Okay, even if the only thing on that fridge is the emblem, it seems everybody seems to read it. And by putting it out there, not only are you constantly reminded of it, but it will help anybody else that comes in and looks at it as well. The other thing that I've got, and I've got to update this today, is up here I've got a sign that literally says I have legally attained a minimum of $2,000 by, well, in this case, June 31st, or June 30th of 2021. I've got to modify it today to handle next month. Now, I already know I made more than that this past month, which was the idea. And tomorrow when I come back, I will actually know what I had to change it to, because it will go up. Okay, but those 2 tools, now that one I've got it up there because I work on my finances right here. And wherever you work on your finances, that's where you want to put that sign. Okay, and we'll get into more of that tomorrow. In the meantime, now is the time to really take a look at where your life is and decide, are you content with it exactly as is? If the answer is yes, then you're probably not listening to me anyway. Because let's face it, my voice just isn't that great. But these are just tools that I personally am using. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to be doing today is once I get done this video, I've got another carryover post for my Facebook page, Yldrbac. Okay, which I'm going through the evolutionary process right now, and now I'm getting into more of the details. Okay, and yes, I'm just marking down a very important little note for myself to make certain that I get things done in the right order. Well, get enough done that I feel like I've accomplished what I was aiming at. Now, to me, it doesn't matter who you follow, which spiritual guideline you follow. Okay, I'm not asking you to believe everything I say. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, double check everything I say. I won't deliberately lie to somebody to make them feel better, unless, of course, they directly ask me to. And I've only had to do that once in my life, where somebody literally has said, look, I don't want to know anything else. Just, if you have to lie to me to make me feel better, do so. So, I did. Now, of course, the fact that I am a science fiction, science fantasy writer gives me a wide array as far as emotion, as far as imagination goes, as far as possibilities go. But I'm also an author in self-help books, specifically Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams, and Believe in Your Business and Follow Your Dreams. If you look at the list below this video, you'll find a list of the different books I've already got in publication. Okay, now right now, they're only available through me, except The Birth of the Wolf Pack, which is part of the Yldrbacian Chronicles. That can be gotten around the world right now, because you can get it through Amazon. Through Amazon, through Barnes & Noble, through authorhouse.com. Okay, but you'll also find at the bottom of the video here a list of contact numbers, contact points that you can get a hold of me. So if you've got questions from any field, it doesn't matter what the field. If I know the answer, I'll give you the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll point blank tell you, I don't know, but try talking to this type of people. They may be who you're looking for. Okay, to be clear, the only thing I've ever guaranteed anybody is I will not lie to you to make you feel better. So if you drop a line below and you've got a question, I will do my best to answer directly to you. I may end up I'll be doing videos, and the only time I use somebody's example is if they've given me permission. And even if that's the case, I do not use people's names. Okay, and if you go back through my videos, you'll find the same situation. My name is the only one I ever give. People have asked me on the radio, who told you what? I'm like, I'm not telling you. It's just, I'm not. If they want to come forward and bring what I'm telling people to the public's attention, that's their issue, not mine. But it's like I won't tell people what they're getting for Christmas either. Because I swore as a kid I would never deliberately take away somebody's possible pleasant surprise. Okay, that's just the way I operate. Now, I've got a whole list of things that I've got to get done. Now, the neat part about it is that I've actually got most of them already done, of the ones I've got on my list. Needless to say, there's stuff I've got to get out of the way, because I'm doing my best to get it all sorted around. Okay. But the reality of it is, and I do get a little scattered in case you hadn't noticed. Okay. I'm just waiting for an email right now from a chap regarding some work that was done for me, and now it's a question of figuring out how to get the money to him. Gee, hope that did not record. I'm not betting on it, but what the heck. Just double checking my email while I'm talking to you, because this whole idea, the whole concept of letting you know what I'm up to is, quite frankly, this is the way my life goes. This is how I redirect energy. Okay, is by taking a look at where things are and making the modification to get the energy writing in the right place. which is why it works. Because you cannot destroy energy. You cannot create energy. It's already there. Okay, but you can redirect it and you can alter it. And one of the big things, and I think tomorrow, yeah, that would be a good idea. Tomorrow's July 31st, so the next couple of days anyway, just in case I get sidetracked. In the next couple of days, think I'm going to go into an interesting idea and let people know how energy itself actually transmutes and how you, as an individual, can make that happen. Now, humans are the only sentient race that I'm actually currently aware of that actually have the capacity to knowingly alter what they're doing as a species goes, like alter the way that reality works as a species goes. Now, the difficult part here is this. We're taught that change is difficult, that change is painful. Well, I'll tell you, every time you hear anybody speak, every time you speak yourself, you're changing. Okay, either you're making a a tiny micromuscular change to hear the different words or to see the different sights. But it's an ongoing change thing. It's the only constant in the universe. Well, it's the only constant in existence, in all fairness, is change. And I'm betting dollars to donuts you're not in staggering amounts of pain because of the change. You may be in pain from all sorts of other things. And rest assured, I've got a little bit of a glitch in that because my pain threshold ain't that high. But the reality is, change is a wonderful thing. And if you can remember how to guide it, to make the energy do what you desire it to do, it will make your life a whole lot more efficient. Okay. It's just one of those things that is extremely important. At least in my eyes, it's extremely important. Okay. So the reality here is this. Take a look at your life. Are you content with your life exactly as it is right this moment? Because everybody effective immediately. Well, in all fairness, it was effective a long time ago. You've got your own path, however you got to where you are in life. That's where you are right here, right now. There's all kinds of possibilities out there as to what you can do. Okay, now, for instance, in my case, I've lived on the edge of poverty my whole life. This is why I won't tell you how to become a millionaire. I will tell you how to make your dreams happen. Because at 15, I came up with a storyline. And I was fortunate enough to have a teacher that lived long enough for me to actually contact her and go, hey, I got the story from that storyline written. And I encourage you, if you had a teacher that was really, really beneficial to you, that was really supportive to you in a way that still to this day stands out, absolutely, I encourage you to reach out and thank them. They don't hear it enough. Now, granted, there are teachers out there that you're looking at going, why did I spend time with that teacher? Like, what did I really learn? What you learn is that not everybody is as capable a teacher as some are. Okay, but the ones that stood out, okay, like I had a gym teacher that taught me a staggering amount where it came to stretching, where it came to fitness and to personal fitness, in spite of the fact I had a totally decimated leg. Okay, I had one teacher in all my schooling that was actually one gym teacher that was really beneficial in that department. Okay, now at this point, I'm laying pretty much odds that he's probably dead. Okay, I'm 58. He'd have been, well, that would put him at the earliest, he'd be in his late 80s, early 90s. Okay, so it's a good bet in today's world he's probably deceased. But I've mentioned before, very important that you minimize negative in your life, maximize the positive. By doing that, the energy around you will run a whole lot more smoothly. Okay, I'm just adding things while I'm going along because, well, it's just dawned on me, unless I get my act together and really start putting things in place, I'm not actually going to make the headway that I desire. See, now this is the thing. This is a magazine that I canceled months ago. Now, fortunately, I'm not being charged for it, but it's a magazine that really, for me, is paper. So I've got a recycling bin down there, and that's where that can go. I canceled it because I didn't want to read it. Okay. You know, in fairness, I don't want to read this either. There it is. Don't want to read this either. It's called the phone bill. But, on the other hand, I can't exactly cancel that without canceling the phone. And as I'm sure you can relate, you cancel your phone, you got a bigger problem. But, what is happening here is I am getting things organized so I know what I'm doing. At least I think I know what I'm doing. If not, well, it wouldn't be an entire shock, that's for certain. But since the bills came in, I should probably get them paid. But talk to the people that have done something that have done something successful that you're aiming to do. Like if you desire to become a world-class ballerina, first and foremost, you might want to start earlier. Because I'm betting the people listening to me are not 4 and 5 and 6 year olds. Okay, I'm just laying odds that they're a little older than that. But even as a young adult, if you desire to go into that sort of thing, okay, take a look at your own physical limitations and make certain that you know what you're up against. Okay, make certain you know what your limits are and what you can deal with. If you do that, you can stay on track and really get things in order. But it's going to take your effort. You can get all the guidance from everybody you desire. If you don't pick the tools up, then frankly, you're not going to make much headway. And this is why I say the tools that I actually offer, okay, are ones that I'm personally using. This is also why you find me moving stuff around here. Because while I've been here, and while I've been talking to you, I've managed to get a number of things organized that I can actually rack off of my list of what I'm trying to get accomplished for today. And I really shouldn't use the word trying. By uttering the term try, you're admitting the possibility and therefore creating the reality of failure. And here's why. The saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again, automatically tells you, that there is that possibility you won't succeed, so keep not succeeding at it. I personally like the flip side of that. When at first you do succeed, go do something else. Because I don't know about you, but once you've succeeded at something, you don't have to work at it quite as much. And that would be great if I could do that properly where it comes to my own finances, but, that's a work in progress. Then again, it took me 56 years to absolutely turn my life upside down. I spent the last 2 going, what am I doing that is not working out effectively? Speaking of which, just got back today, and this has to be dealt with. Not while I'm on the phone. I'm just setting it up on the phone. Not while I'm doing my recording. Just setting it up so as soon as I get off, I can enter the information as I need it. Because I will tell you, where I got off track, I figured it all out. Right? I had everything tracked properly. And then I stopped doing it. Now, when you do that, it's kind of like falling off the wagon. You're fighting to get back on a stable track. You slip up, you mess up, get back up and start over again. Don't call it and don't look at it and go, oh, I'm such a failure. You're probably going to, especially if you've got a nasty addiction. Okay. But do your best to realize, look, getting rid of physical addictions or mental addictions for that matter takes time. You didn't get to this state overnight in all likelihood. Okay. So it will take time to get it turned around. It will take time to open the door and get yourself moving in the right direction. You'll probably fall on your head a couple of times in the process. But with that in mind, it really is an interesting situation where you actually, with the assistance of those around you, you can change your world. You can alter the way the energy in your life is working. and co-create a better world for just about everybody. Okay, now I'm gonna, I keep these videos to the half-hour mark because I don't know about you, but I got a lot of things I'm trying to get done. Not the least of which is I've got 32 books I'm in the middle of writing all at the same time. And it really is time I get very focused and make sure things come out one step at a time. The short point on that, people say the first step is always the hardest. And in all fairness, the first step, if you watch a kid working, a kid learning to walk, taking it literally, that first step is usually accidental. They're trying to stand up, they're trying to move a little. So the first step, they go, okay, I'm going to make a step. And then the second step happens, and that second step is usually, that's the one that's reactive. Because they take the first step, and then they get unbalanced, and they move the other foot automatically to catch their balance. It's the third step. And you'll find this idea of 3 comes up a lot in my videos. But it's the third step that is the hardest one to do. Because that's the one where you've gone, take the step, stumble, take another one. Now you're making the logical choice. Am I going to pick my foot up and move it again? Or am I just going to sit down and say, scrap it, I've had enough? Okay, that's the difficult choice to make. And you're the only one, no matter what anybody tells you, you're the only one that can actually make that decision. You're the only one that can actually do the work for you to become successful. Now, I take my inspiration really from the guy that started Kentucky Fried Chicken, because my understanding of him was he was 65 when he opened his first chicken stand. 4 months later, he closed the doors on it because his staff wouldn't do things exactly the way he desired them to be done. Now he's a household name. Okay, now I figure I've got a bit of a jump on that. I'm not cooking. Trust me on this one. You're lucking out with that one because you don't want my cooking. But I figure he was 65 when he opened his first chicken stand. I'm 58 and I've just put my first book to public sale. Okay, so I've got 7 years ahead. Now it's a case of making certain I really make everything move in the right direction. But I have to break a real nasty habit of mine called procrastination. And I'm not quite certain how that breaks down, but I was going to say something. But the only thing procrastination has ever accomplished for anything is putting stuff off. So I'm bound and determined I'm going to be late for my own funeral. I figured they already diagnosed me multiple times. Once I got diagnosed dead and they shipped me off to the morgue. I didn't agree with it, so I left. Okay, now, I'm going to bring this to a close, but I do look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert bell so you can find out when the video comes up. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.